Imagine this. It's 2011. Team Fortress 2 was just made free to play, and your preteen self installs it for the first time to go on to 2Fort for the first time, and play Spy, thinking you were the person who could cap the intelligence despite literally being 12. You jump on with your best friend and play the classic medic and heavy duo, ripping the server in two but always being sniped from afar by some dude with a sparkly hat.
You're kidding me.
Things are as they should be. It's a year later, and maybe you were a part of the lucky few who, when browsing the free-to-play tab on Steam, decided that playing Cry of Fear was a good decision, despite near shitting yourself at the mere sight of Slenderman. After cleaning your shit-stained pants after the first initial jump scare, you're thrown into a horror game that explores themes of self-harm, depression, and suicide. And whilst the voice acting isn't 100% fantastic,
I've always felt alone. My whole life. I don't know.
it really makes you reflect on your own personal struggles and how relatable the story becomes. Or maybe you were a Minecraft or Gmod kid who wanted to play a special map and mod that reminded you of a game you couldn't buy because your parents thought it was too violent. But what do all of these have in common? Well, they all started as a mod for a game before it, where the community of that game is built on top of it to try and create something new and inspired. The problem that arises nowadays is the reliance on live service model games that cannot be changed or modified in any way. Sure, there's your Thomas the Tank Engine Resident Evil mod, or Homer Simpson as a playable character in Elden Ring, but there's really nothing out there that can really change the way most games are actively played without breaking it entirely or being banned by an anti-cheat system. When talking about modding, we usually talk about games that are 5, 10, 15 years old, and modding communities are built around making games more enjoyable by either changing stuff through quality of life, overhauls of certain features, or just flat out adding content to the game that makes it better in some way. Despite this, I think the best way to experience most games is to play them until you know them back to front and then mod them so that your potential enjoyment is either enhanced when you do it again, or to experience the mod to its full potential, but this doesn't apply for everything. To elaborate, the Dark Souls 3 Cinders mod is targeted directly at players who have beaten the game multiple times and want a more rewarding experience. For example, it has unique game modes where you fight bosses in various orders called Gauntlet, and it straight up gets rid of linear progression so that there are more ways to explore the map and a ton of reworked mechanics. It's a great mod with tons of content for experienced players who know pretty much everything there is to know about the game, and should only really be installed after beating it, or else you'll have a skewed experience of what Dark Souls 3 was actually meant to be. But what about a game that should be modded, even before your first playthrough of the game? Well, look no further than Fallout New Vegas. Following the Viva New Vegas mod guide, you can pretty much update the game from being a 2010 RPG into a modernized 2022 FPS. These mods keep the vanilla feel of the game, but it gives it a fresh coat of paint, whilst also giving it a bunch of quality of life changes that drastically improve how the game flows, both in downtime and in those big firefights, so it's really something to check out. It still holds its incredible story with countless things to do, but now it's in a more accessible and player-friendly way that makes it miles better than standard gameplay. It also somehow runs better, even with almost like 100 mods or so enabled, so I don't know, give that a check out, it's really good. However, both of these games are offline-based single-player games. Whilst Dark Souls 3 can be played with other people, the Cinders mod can't, so we're just stuck with two incredible games that are fantastic when modded, regardless of the player demographics time in those respected games. But what about some multiplayer stuff? Well, Team Fortress Classic was made from Quake, and considering how big its success was, the team behind it was actually hired by Valve to come in and make TF2 from the ground up, building itself into the absolute powerhouse of a game it is today, Team Fortress 2. Unfortunately, I don't ever see something like this happening again. Valve are too busy milking Dota, EA took fun to the slaughterhouse with its now corrupted friend Money, and Blizzard is just a whole other hot topic that I can't get into. Well, do you remember the Save Titanfall hacktivists? They targeted Respawn Entertainment for the negligence of the hacking and DDoSing problems that Titanfall 1 was plagued with, and still is to this day. But these hacktivists didn't just take the Titanfall 1 servers, but Apex Legends and Titanfall 2 servers as well, to get the attention of the devs to do something about the problem. Whilst that's a topic for another day, a group of modders, most notably Bob the Bob, as that's the only one I could really find, took the liberty of releasing something called the North Star mod, which allowed the user to create their own personal servers to host with their friends or in public lobbies. What this really means is that hackers can't access your private matches with friends and crash them, which is a huge step forward towards the issue because you had to connect to a main server that was constantly crashing before. So, really good stuff. Whilst the main problem lies unresolved, a modding community has stepped forth, taken the game into their own hands, and single-handedly put the power in the hands of the community again with the power of modding. A truly heroic thing to do. Whilst Minecraft and Gmod will stand the test of time with mods and multiplayer accessibility because of its sandbox-like gameplay, there is one game that, whilst always fun to play vanilla, either by yourself or with friends, will always take the cake in the multiplayer modding department for me: Risk of Rain 2. But to explain why, I'll first need to explain why this game checks every single box on this list we've talked about today. Now, there's going to be some of you who don't know what Risk of Rain 2 is, so let me explain. Risk of Rain 2 is a third-person roguelike that will suck the time out of your days if you're not careful. From there, it's up to you. You can go for one of the endings, or just see how far you get before a brass contraption one-shots you and your lifeless ragdoll careens into the ether. But the thing is, it's simple. The only objective is to keep going, and it's always up to you how you do that. The more you play the game, the more stuff you'll unlock, from extra survivors to abilities that these survivors can use, and even extra items. But some of these achievements are sometimes borderline impossible, so you'll always have something to work towards if you just keep playing the game. Speaking of survivors, you have a whole batch of different playstyles to choose from. You can start playing the game. You can stop playing the game. Become Raiden from my favourite political simulator, Metal Gear Rising. Plantbot. Find out the answer to an age-old question.
What the dog?
Or summon the... Every time you start this game, there's something you can achieve or reach for, and even if you don't want to do that, there's always just the fun of seeing how far you can go. Because it's a roguelike, no two runs will ever feel the same, so even if you just want to stick to one survivor, you can do that, and you'll always have a different experience. Now, I think it's easy to see how easy it would be to change or add content onto the game based on how basic the core gameplay loop is, and whilst the assumption would be right, you would never guess just how easy it is to play a modded game of Risk with your friends, because they took a stride of innovation when creating the mod management system. When you start installing mods, you're able to create a list of mods that you want to run the game with, and then you're able to send this list to your friend. And the mod manager will not only download and install the mod for you, but also create an entirely new game launcher to keep the vanilla game separate from whatever modded version you and your friends have made together. To access the modded version, all you'd need to do is just press Start Modded, but you can also just press Start Vanilla, or you can even just launch it from the actual Steam page. It's really that simple. Better yet, because the game has no dedicated servers and you don't have to make one, joining your friends is as easy as picking them out of your friend list and inviting them. No North Star mod or external log me in service is necessary. It's smooth as butter, and whilst not every mod is going to be good for your experience...
This thing crashed my game last time, I'm not even gonna try.
There are some seriously amazing mods out there. My personal favourite is Thickify. I'm going to leave you with some content of a few runs me and my friends had with various different characters and mods, but if you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a comment below. I'd really like to see what you guys are thinking of the modding community at large, and if you've gone away to try any of the mods covered in this video.
Oh god, this deals 2 damage per hit, god.
You're tiny, what the fuck? Look at you. You're
Damn,
so small.
Oh, yes, give me attack speed.
Oh, you have soldier syringes. Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm the soldier though. Why don't I get those syringes?
Well, my syringe now. I stole it from your cartel.
Yeah, fuck you, man.
My cartel now. Okay.
Okay.
Super idol, increase health by armor up.
Super idol edition. Legend.
Okay. Have enemies spawn for you?
A couple.
Now that idol is pretty far.
What does it do again, sorry?
She just sits there.
Increases health up to 100% and armor up to 90% on current gold. What the fuck? Oh, there's new enemies!
Are there?
Yeah! They're cool as hell! They're like Persian robot things that kind of fit in with the setting of this area. That's cool as hell. What the fuck?
I'm happy you're recording because I'm not getting any spawns. Definitely not leeching gold off of you. No.
Oh, you can even surf. I love it. Come on.
You need to see my hitbox.
Hold on. Let me get my my rollout going. Oh, what happened to you? Oh
Dude.
my god, you're like a dwarf. What the?
It's
Look!
the opal.
Never
opal.
touch me or my son again. Interesting.
Yeah.
We don't worry about it. I picked up a ukulele and then a bunch of enemies showed up at once and I died. I didn't actually pick up the ukulele though, so if you want it, you can take it.
I thank you. Oh god. Okay!
Oh, that was some good shit.
Who's looking to lose
Oh
a fight
my
today?
god, that's so funny.
I'm just...
Oh, is it time for big
All men
boys?
wanna be me.
Is it?
It is.
Is
It
it
is time.
big boy time? Oh, I'm so
I
ready.
just-
What have
I
you got?
just- I
Mecha
just wanna do
Kingdoms.
something.
Start the JoJo music. Going for a rock.
Absurd.
Bonk. Bonk. Oh, what happened? Oh god. Going. Dumpster, motherfucker. Let's go. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Let's
Do
put
it.
some-
Go on. Go do it. Go do it. For the video. Do it for the
For
vine.
the video!
Do it for the
For
vine.
the video! For the
So good.
If you've made it to the end of the video, I cannot thank you enough for sticking through this. It's a topic I'm really passionate about, and I love making this kind of long-form content. So if it's something that you want to see more of, please consider liking the video. My name's been EggsKenedict, and I'll see you next time.